All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to share with you this morning about the intro to funded accounts and how that works with our trading bots. So, the first thing I want to explain is this process of getting funded, the process of taking an assessment account or a funded account, and how do you actually turn that into real trading capital? First thing is, of course, you have to sign up and audition. So, the idea is that you pay a small monthly fee that includes data feeds, that includes the assessment. And for that small monthly fee, as low as like $29 a month, you're able to get a $25,000 trading account. And what you do is you grow that account about 10%. Some accounts require 10%, some are 8, some are 12. They all have slightly different rules, but roughly 10%. You would choose the assessment account you want and the size you want to audition for. Then what you do is you grow that account, right? That 10%, but you can't break the rules. One of the rules is there's only a certain amount that you're able to lose. So once you gain some, there's only so much you're able to lose. So you have a limited drawdown. That's what we refer to. Multiple losses in a row is a kind of a drawdown period. And that is one of the rules. You can't lose more than a certain percent. The next thing is once you get funded, once you grow that 10% without breaking the rules, then you complete some paperwork. You pay usually a small fee, sometimes $80, give or take, sometimes $35. And then the account becomes real and it becomes real money so that from then on, when you actually make your gains, you're able to request what's called a payout. So it can come in the form of a check, or a bank wire ETF. Sometimes they allow PayPal or Coinbase if you want to get paid in crypto. So the cool part here is that you grow that funded account and then without breaking the rules, you get it funded and then you're able to request some payouts. So you're basically keeping about 90% of your gains. And the cool part is, of course, you do all this for a small monthly fee. So let's talk a little bit about the size of accounts. And in this case, we're going to use Apex and Tradeovate. Tradeovate is like the underlying technology that's used by Apex Trader Funding. And let's talk about some specific account sizes. Of course, the smallest is a 25K, $25,000 account. And the goal is to grow that by $1,500 without losing $1,500. So positive 1,500 without losing 1,500. Now, the cost for this on the website is significantly higher than $29 a month, but they always, not always, I say 99% of the time, they offer a 80 to 90% off deal. So with the 80% off, it's basically $29 a month. Now, if you want a $50,000 account, you'll notice that your goal is double. So it went from $1,500 up to $3,000. So you have to grow it, $3,000 profit. And your drawdown is limited to 2,500. So a slightly different ratio, as you guys can understand here. Your 1,500 to 1,500. That is kind of a one-to-one. This is a little bit more than a one-to-one, right? You're able to lose 2,500 and you are able to gain up to, your profit goal is 3,000. Now, as you go across the board, they actually have more account sizes than what I'm listing here. These are kind of the most popular ones that people sign up for. There are 125K accounts, there are 75K accounts in the middle here. And these are the most profitable, most popular, I should say. Here you'll see that a $6,000 goal without losing 3,000, which is kind of like a 2-to-1 ratio. As you go up higher, it gets closer to sometimes 2.5 or 3-to-1 ratio. They even do have a 300K account. And if you are signing up for Apex, use the coupon code SAVE NOW for your use that coupon code so that you're able to get that listed price here of 80% off. Now, some of you guys probably are wondering, well, who have we helped? And we actually have lots and lots of screenshots. I'm not going to share all the screenshots with you, but I do want to show you, this is basically what happens when you get an account funded. You get the certificate in your email that says, congratulations, you've been funded. And it shows we are kind of hiding our team members' last name. We don't want them to be, reach out to or just leave them be. But this shows 50K Tradeovate account from ATF, Apex Trader Funding, right? And so that shows that this was a 50K account that got unlocked. The next thing, once you get unlocked, is you now ask for a payout amount. And this was showing that you've able to grow the actual real money account and you're requesting a piece of your gains, right? And so that is an example of that. So again, one is funded, one is this is your funding, and these are examples of your payouts. Now, I do have tons and tons of screenshots. I don't want to bore you with all of them that look the same with different amounts and different names, but that's the basics of how this works. Now, across the board, how much funded accounts have we helped our community unlock? And we just started actually collecting this information starting in July. And since July, we've had $5 million of funded accounts unlocked in our community. And we've actually helped our traders last month in September get over just right at $1 million in funded accounts unlocked. Now, it doesn't mean payouts. That means trading capital unlocked. And once it's unlocked, then you grow it, you continue to grow it and request payouts. The cool part about this is if you are a brand new trader or you're maybe don't have enough trading capital to trade your own funds, this is a pretty amazing way to learn. And we would say that this makes it makes for inexpensive or allows you to make cheap mistakes. We all know that we all have these delusions of traveling to remote and exotic islands, trading from maybe in Europe, trading from our laptop and making tons of money. But that definitely can happen. I've done it myself. It definitely can happen. Ultimately, though, you don't start there. You start making mistakes, you start getting frustrated, and it is a learned skill. You do have to understand how the markets work enough to start making some progress, some headway, and that does kind of happen over time, as with any other learned skill. So who am I? Well, my name is Matt DeLong, and I've been a stock and options trader for 8 years. I've been working with stock trading automation for 5 years. And I was the former CTO of Real Life Trading for 4 years before selling my ownership. And then I've been a speaker at the Money Show for the past 3 years. So what I'm going to do is kind of share with you a little bit about bot trading, how this works, this process. And number one, when we talk about a bot, we're actually talking about a strategy. It's executing a single strategy. Okay. Now, what this means is that if we have 5 different strategies, then we have 5 different bots. That's how we've built it. Now, there's plenty of different ways to build bots, but a strategy is a bot, and you can control and input the time frame and the asset classes. Okay. So what that means is that you're able to decide and use some settings to control the bot. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, you're able to run a back test to see what works best historically. So here's an example, just a quick intro or a quick example of what does it actually look like when it comes to inputs for a funded account using bots. Well, this is what it actually looks like, okay? Now, this is it's called a strategy. Remember, this is the opening range breakout version 2.18. That is, as of right now, that is the latest and greatest version. Now, here are your inputs that you decide, hey, what days do I want to trade? How much do I want to risk? Well, that is a factor of the funded account size you have. Remember that drawdown amount of 3,000 or whatever, we would use a percentage of that. So usually 10%. So if a $3,000 drawdown, we typically would enter $300 right here. Your maximum lot size is going to vary, but let's just say 150 contracts maximum. And our pre-calculated risk formulas are going to calculate your risk to determine how many contracts you use so that you can have consistent risk. Of course, if you're trading futures, you would check that, of course, so that it gives you a clear and concise and precise risk. The other thing is profit taker 2.8. That is a factor of your risk. So what that means is 2.8 times your risk. So if I have $100 up here as my risk and 2.8, that means 2.8 times my $100. That's what that means. Okay. Stop loss padding and ticks. If you're trading futures, a tick is basically 25 cents. So this represents $1.25 of padding. So what that means is where we get into a trade, let's say we have a candle that looks like this, and we're looking for a break above, right? Going higher, and this would be my entry, and my take profit would be up here, and my stop loss would be at the low of that candle. However, if I have some padding, I don't necessarily want the stop loss right there. I want to give it a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm having a lower stop loss. And then of course, here is an example of a bullish trade. That's what the formula and the algorithmic risk computations, the quantity, all the calculations, that's how that works. And so this is basically stop loss padding. Now, if you get triggered into a trade or if it sets up a trade automatically and you go 5 candles without a trade, you can say, hey, I want to cancel the order if it's not filled in X number of candles, cancel after X number of candles. In this case, it defaults to 5. The other things that you can input is what time frames you want to start. Just because a market is trading like futures is 23 hours a day, 5 days a week, just because it trades 25, 23, 5 doesn't necessarily mean you want to be in trades, especially during low volume times. Kind of get stuck in trades and it's sometimes hard to get out. Things like your futures trade 23.5. Things like stocks, those actually trade 6.5 hours a day, 5 days a week. So as you can tell, futures trade significantly more, way more opportunity to get in and out of trades, and they're not so susceptible. Is that a word? So we'll call it volatile based on news headlines or lawsuits or the CEO is in trouble for some reason or another, right? Futures is things like the NASDAQ 100. We would call that the NQ, or my favorite is the micro NQ, MNQ. Those are some of my favorites. But we were able to determine what the start time is. The other thing you can do is have a close time, which means if you're in a trade and it hasn't hit the profit target and it hasn't hit the stop loss, then what? What do you do? Well, you have the ability to automatically close the trade at 2:55. This is my current time zone in Central Time Zone. I can close this 5 minutes before the market closes. I just auto close wherever it is. Maybe it's up a little, maybe it's down a little. I'm just going to auto close that trade. So these are, again, the inputs that we're able to use in the bots, and our instrument that we're trading, I mentioned MNQ is one of my favorites. And this is trading on a 5-minute chart. And we're using kind of July, August, and September. We're going back in time. And we're basically calculating and looking at what has worked really, really well historically. Okay. What has worked well historically. And the reason that that is super important is so that that helps us address and understand what has worked historically. We're going to do that in the future. Okay. So what that means is recent data trends, recent market trends, recent analytics tell us what to use these settings for going forward into the future. So you don't have to guess. You can actually run a report in usually less than 5 seconds, and you can determine what has worked well historically. Okay. Now, a few things I do want to skip over this. A few things I want to do is show you the power of an automated back test. The first thing is this isn't a real example report. And it shows, we blew it up here. So this is kind of a zoomed in version. And so what this is showing is a $94,000 profit. We did win about 149,000. We lost 54. So our net profit is 94,000. Now, for some of you guys, you're like, oh, I don't want a strategy that ever loses. Good luck. That's like trying to find the pot of gold within the rainbow. That does not exist. Trades, when you're taking a risk, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. You have to be okay with sometimes being wrong. And that means you're going to give back some of your gains, but it's not all lost. $94,000 in 3 months of work is not bad at all. Okay. The other thing is our profit factor. It basically means what is our wins, how much we've won against our losses as a ratio. This is almost a full 3 times, which means you're going to win $3, or in this case, $2.73 for every $1 you lose. And then multiple trades in a row. Sometimes you have 3 or 4 losing trades in a row. That is your maximum drawdown. So that's the basics of how that works. I'm going to show you a couple of views of the a few more views of the back test. This is an analysis. This is what shows you. Ideally, you want some things going top left to bottom right. And that means here's what your account looks like. If you've ever seen like the balance of your checking account go up or down, this is kind of what happens. This is what it looks like. You want it to grow from the bottom left to the top right. Now, as you saw in our previous back test, it did show a few losing trades in a row, and that's probably right here. That looks like the biggest peak to trough that I've seen in our back test. So that is basically going to help us understand, is this a huge winning trade and a whole bunch of losing trades, or is this kind of a slow grind over time? And that's what it appears to be, is that it's slowly winning over time, right? And that's kind of what you want. You don't necessarily need huge home runs. I made $100,000 on the day. You don't really need those. In order to get those, you have to be taking some big risk. And in order to do that, you have to be able to stomach some humongous fluctuations in your account while the trade is open. Most people can't stomach that. Most people get stressed if they lose $200. So trust me, you're not ready for a $100,000 win, because you'd have to be able to stomach sometimes a 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe even more $50,000 loss if the trade doesn't work. Trust me, if you're just starting out, you're not ready for that. You might get to that eventually, but you're not ready. You certainly don't start there. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you is this. This is another view of the same thing where it shows your profits, and you'll see there's way more green bars than there are red, and the green bars are quite a bit taller than the red. So remember, we defined what our risk was. Our risk was 700. We defined what our risk was. And so what this is showing is how much are we losing when we lose? How much are we winning? How much do we win when we win? And how often and how frequent does that happen? In this case, that is a very, very healthy kind of back test. And so this is giving us really good vibes. This is giving us a good view of what we're really looking for. The other thing that this can do is give you some interesting and detailed analytics into what wins and what loses consistently on a day of the week basis. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Obviously, if you have a huge losing day, then skip those days. That's pretty simple. Now, most of you who trade manually, who've tried day trading manually and have struggled, you probably didn't know that there are certain days of the week that work better than others. How do we know? Well, we run it through our software, and it'll actually tell us, here's the days of the week that work best. And obviously, if I had to pick a single day of the week, Tuesday in this exact example, it doesn't mean Tuesday for every possible strategy, but in this exact strategy, in this exact example, Tuesday works pretty well, right? And if I had to pick a second day, Tuesday would be number one, Wednesday, obviously number two. Why? Because of the profits that come from those days, right? Now, if you're used to manually trading and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't trade on Tuesdays because I have a work thing or I have a meeting or I have to take the kids somewhere, and you can't trade on Tuesday, you can see significantly, if you don't show up for those days and you're trading manually, what a huge impact that would make to your overall wins. It'd be like missing the big, big game that you won huge, right? So not only that, but this back testing tool that we've built into NinjaTrader, the back testing can also show us, this is a zoomed in view, also of our entry, our stop loss, and our take profit. This is not a martingale. This is not add to losing positions over time, hoping for a reversal. Those are fairly dangerous, and those can win, but when you win small. When you lose humongous. And we're trying to have, our strategy is to use fixed risk. So we're risking the same amount of dollars every single time. And we're looking for more than $1 of gain for every dollar that we lose. Okay. And this is showing the exact trades, kind of basically the decision that it took in order to get into these trades. Now, this will also dump out all the settings that we use. In this case, in this example, we're risking $2,500. We have a maximum of 1,500 units, 1,500 contracts, or 1,500 shares if this is stocks. I forget exactly what we ran this on. I believe is M&Q. And so what this is doing is it's showing us we have all the days enabled Monday through Friday. Here is our testing period running on a 5-minute chart. and we're replaying it in a high tick, a one tick environment, meaning super, super accurate, but a little bit slower. That's what we want. We don't really want, we want as accurate as possible. Now, for those of you who are wondering, hey, this works with funded accounts, does it also work with traditional brokers like Interactive Brokers or Charles Schwab? And the answer is yes. In addition to that, it does work with 12 plus funded account programs. Anyone who basically works with NinjaTrader, this will work with. So any funded account programs, make sure you ask what platform can you use or what platform does it support. So really, we do offer both fully automated and semi-automated trading. In this webinar, we're talking mostly about bots, fully automated decision-making, fully automated trading. And who have we helped? Like, what are customers saying about our programs? And basically what we're doing is we're trying to help. This is what people have said is like you're using data to make decisions, right? Data driven decision making. Okay. So interestingly enough, we have clients who have highly recommended our program. We have lots and lots of these, great teaching and community, great growth, community for growth, tools for the trade, 5 stars, experience successful carrying detailed trading coaches and company. And for some reason, I'm not sure why, we have nothing but 5 stars, 100% 5 stars, but our average is 4.5. Go figure, not sure how that works exactly. I don't know how you take a bunch of 5 star reviews and average a 4.5 rating. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works, but it's definitely interesting in and of itself. So really, if you are a manual trader or you've struggled with day trading, struggled with trading, and you want some consistency, that's really what the bots can provide you. And this is our slogan. You don't have to win every time. You have to win over time. That is a huge differentiator, right? Huge. You don't have to win. Most people get so stressed about one trade. Did I win? Did I lose? And their whole entire identity and their mood is set on whether they won or lost for the day. I don't know about you, but I like to look at what my trades did at the end of the week. It doesn't matter what happened during the day. Maybe I'm going to win, maybe I'm going to lose, but I'm okay. And I've accepted all possible outcomes. Okay. Now I want to tell you guys a little secret. I don't know if you guys are interested, but there's a secret to scaling your wins. If you're interested, go ahead and type a 7 into the chat pane. If you want to hear what these are, if you're interested in scaling your gains, what is the secret? And the answer is dashboard trade copiers. What does that mean? Well, remember in our very first few slides, we talked about a funded account program that's 25 or 30 or $50,000. What if you had 10 of those? What if you had 20 of those set up and you're using a bot and you're configuring a single account? Maybe it's even a practice account, and you're copying the trades into multiple funded accounts and assessment accounts. And so not only are you taking one trade across a bunch of accounts, but you're doing it in an automated fashion using some of the technology that we've built. And this is an account dashboard and trade copier. Not only that, it'll show you how far you are away from being funded, how much more you have to go to get funded. It also showed you how far away you are from blowing it up or what your P&L, your profit and loss is on a kind of a daily basis, what that looks like. Now, I want to share with you a student who just literally 2 weeks ago, he was able to make some huge gains using some of this. This is a example of a funded account or multiple funded accounts. You guys can see lots and lots and lots and lots of funded accounts here. And he had a gross realized gain. If you were to look at all these gains, add them up, and here's what he said. Today was a massive day for me and my bot trading journey. Today, just a little over a month after completing my bot training with Matt, I was able to get 9 funded accounts, 50K Apex. So that's 450,000. And I'm completely over the moon and wanted to share this with the community. As I know, sometimes we all get a bit down when we have red days. This month I have funded 11 accounts and lost a PA as a assessment account. It's all part of the process. I have red days and I have green days. Today was not a normal day. If you add all of these numbers up, ladies and gentlemen, does anyone take a guess at how much it adds up to? Add all that up, 37,000 in a single day. That is quite a substantial amount of money for the average person who works a full-time job, as Miguel does. He has actually lives in Spain. Now, here's what we offer. Here's how you get involved. How much are the bots? Well, we don't actually sell the bots. We give them away to you, but only in class. And so we offer a 12-month membership and you get access to our trading community. We do have some live events. I teach Monday evening classes, Q&A. We review new bot changes. We review issues that come up. We review different strategies, new features in our bots. We offer these as monthly mentorships, which is basically one class a month. Once it's a single class every month for 12 months, and that we go through the course of 5 different bots. We explain how they work, how to use the software, how to run back tests, how to go live, how to optimize, how to review your trades, all the things. We do have some online courses. We do provide technology updates as part of your membership. And then we do allow others to share trades. So we allow you to look at and kind of share what trades the technology has placed, share with our community. Okay. Cost is $1,800, or you're able to pay $150 a month on a payment plan. For those of you who add up 150 times 12, you will realize that we are charging $0 interest. If you want to pay upfront, you can. If you want to pay monthly, that's fine as well. And that is what we're offering. We're offering a chance to learn how the technology works. A lot of people ask the question, hey, if the bot does all the trading for me, why do I need a class? Well, this sophisticated technology, right? You need to understand how it works. You need to understand what the settings do. You have to be able to understand kind of the process here of going through and setting these bots up, letting them run, pushing them out to the cloud. So that's the number one question we get. And the other question is, once class ends, can I still use the bots? Are they still available to me? How much support is there for questions, troubleshooting? And as long as you're still a member of the premium community, that 150 a month, we provide the new features and new versions, and we do a live weekly call as well, which provides ongoing support. So go ahead and throw some questions into the chat pane here, and I will do my best to answer those. So I'm new to bots and prop trading. Is there a learning curve? How soon will I see profits and results? Yeah, it's manageable. Yes, with the right resources and support. So understanding how the bots operate. Again, we go through 5 different bots, 5 different strategies, and we do spend time on each one of those. You'd have to understand how each one works. We do that over the course of the 12 months. And so setting up the strategies, grasping the fundamentals. There's a little bit of a learning curve to how the funded trading works, the prop trading. It does, of course, all take some time and practice as any other skill, right? And this does include one small group online session per month. So it is included that you do get a online, we spend time going through this every single month. We also have ongoing support for the 12 months. So we do have I'm able to answer your questions, spend time with you. And then of course, the technology piece here is that we do offer the bots, but only in our class. So it does include the 5 bots and strategies. There's no coding required. We do kind of a thorough explanation, use some real world examples so you understand how they work. And we do include those at no extra cost in our class and only in our class. It is highly important to me that you understand what you're doing. We're not trying to sell the technology, okay? We want to make sure you understand how it works. A lot of people don't even read and then get frustrated, don't understand how things work. And then, of course, the frustration sets in and they go chase the next shiny object. So what we do offer is this is built in to our membership if you take the bot trading mentorship, you can review and get some more information at pushbuttontrading.co. And again, we do offer it on a 12-month, year-long mentorship. We do have that available. And let me see if there's any more questions. Did I miss any? What is the win rate of the bots? So you remember in our early screen, we do have we have a dozen settings. So obviously there's a lot of factors and variables. It's hard to say what the win rate is depending on what you set it up on, but each bot does have a dozen settings. And I do show you how to think through the settings to use. And ultimately, you'll be making a decision on what to run based on the back test results. Okay. What happens if I miss a class? Yeah, so every class is recorded and they're sent out in our online group. If you miss a class, you can go back and watch the entire session. And we do kind of keep up with attendance. If you have made it to 10 out of the 12 classes, we do give you a certificate of completion. Can I use the bots with any broker? No, so it's any broker that supports NinjaTrader 8, and those are somewhat limited. I'm not quite sure what all every broker out there that supports NinjaTrader, but yeah, it's any broker that works with NinjaTrader, including about a dozen plus funded accounts. How much are the bots without the clouds? Yeah, so the bots are only offered through the mentorship program, which includes the training on setup, optimization, live trading. The classes are a very integral part of getting access to the bots. Our focus is on learning and using these tools within a structured program. We do not sell the bots directly without the training component. Plenty of people out there will sell you their $20,000 bot. Good luck. I hope it works for you. And that's pretty much what they do. But we are kind of the opposite of that. We do not really want to give someone something that they do not understand. They do not fully grasp the concepts of how these things work. And we certainly want you to be successful. That's why we're even offering a 12-month payment plan, right? We want you to be successful over time. But it is a learning curve. It does require, just like any new skill, we have reduced the learning curve with this technology that we provide, but that's kind of our approach to education. We do allow a maximum of 15 people per class. So every month we have a new class starting. It's a maximum of 15 people. That is our kind of our internal standard. We don't really want to go over that. I've actually taught classes at a previous company with 75 people in it. And as an instructor or coach, when you have 75 people each asking one question at the same time, it's not even manageable. It just erupts into craziness. And especially if you paid a lot of money to be there, it's just absolutely a terrible experience. So, yep. Cool. If that's no more questions, I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, pushbuttontrading.co for more information. And this is the 12-month mentorship, the bot trading automation that we've been talking about. Good luck to you and hope to see you in class soon. Thanks.